everyone, welcome to day 7 of the How Not to Die challenge. So I realized that I have not told you guys, so I took about a week off between my last challenge and this challenge, and my weight went from right at 164-ish up to, I can't remember if it was I have it written down. It was either 165.6 or 165.4. I don't remember. So anyway, 165 point something. And then I weighed myself. It's actually 3 o'clock in the morning, but when I got up at like midnight, I weighed myself and I was back down to 164.2. So that's great. In the last 7 days, technically today's say 7, so 6 days, whatever. In the last 7 days, I've lost about a pound and a little bit. So that's great. Back down to where I was before. I have to say, if I get under, when I get under 164, that actually will be the lowest weight that I have ever been in my entire adult life, which is kind of exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be kind of neat. So I'm not trying to derail myself or anything, I promise. However, I kind of thought that, okay, we've done really well for this last week. We've had like chili, we've had umami stir fry, we've had just all sorts of wonderful stuff. That zucchini meal was fabulous. Oh my gosh, that was great. So I was thinking that it would probably be a good thing for somebody if they really, really and truly like a treat. So I actually, honestly, I'm not a huge chocolate person. I've always felt really bad for my husband. I don't like chocolate and I don't like flowers. It's not that I don't like flowers, they're beautiful, but they make my nose run and they make my eyes itch and they make me sneezy, and I just don't want them in my house. Outside, they're beautiful. I love to look at flowers. They're gorgeous. I just don't want to smell them. Same thing with cut grass. It's horrible. But it's only because it just makes me super sneezy and stuff. Otherwise, it would be just fine. But, so Valentine's Day was always really hard for him because I don't really want chocolate and I really don't want flowers. So, however, I really do like brownies. I've always liked brownies. I don't know what it is about a brownie that I really do like, but I really do like brownies, which is super, super chocolatey, so I'm not really sure why that is. However, Dr. Greger has a brownie recipe in his cookbook that I'm not going to make because it's a no-bake brownie, and they tend to be very, very, very gooey. I'm just not going to. But I do want to make brownies for you guys, so it could be something that you guys could try and have like a treat. So when I want something chocolate, especially for my kids, but when I want something chocolate, there's only one person that I turn to. Do you guys know who that is? I've done stuff from her before. It's Katie from Chocolate Covered Katie. If you guys have never looked at her website before, take a look. She's got like everything under the sun that could possibly be amounted to chocolate, and she's really neat in the fact that she does stuff like she'll make stuff that can be gluten-free. She'll tell you all the alternatives that you can do to make something sugar-free. She'll tell you, just basically every which way that you could possibly make stuff that's allergy-friendly, make stuff it's just wonderful. I love her website. She seems absolutely adorable. So anyway, I'm going to make a chocolate-covered Katie recipe, and I've already made one batch of this brownie, and it's called chocolate peanut butter swirl brownies, and I made it boy friendly, so I made it for my boys, so obviously there's no peanut butter in it, but I did make it pretty much according to her recipe. So that's over. So a lot of her stuff is you don't cook it for a super long amount of time, and then you let it sit for like overnight, and then it becomes what it's supposed to become. So that's cool. So with this one, it's the same exact thing. You cook it for a little bit and then you let it sit. Well, what I really wanted to do for myself was to make it is called mint chocolate workout brownies. And the only reason I want to do that is because it has mint in it, and I love mint, and mint and chocolate together go wonderfully to me. However, I am going to make the chocolate peanut butter swirl brownies without the peanut butter swirl on top and with the addition of mint. So if you want to, when you make this, if you do not like mint, just leave it out. It wasn't in the recipe to start with. So there you go. And I would make the mint chocolate workout brownies, except they don't have any beans in them. And I kind of figure that's the point of making a brownie, is to incorporate black beans into it because they're super healthy. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to start putting stuff together. I'm going to bring the phone down here so you guys can see what I'm doing, and we'll get this all put together. The one big difference here is that instead of putting maple syrup in it, you're supposed to put so here's how she puts it. 1/3 cup maple syrup, agave or honey, and then underneath that it says pinch of uncut stevia, or increase the maple syrup to 1/2 cup. So rather than using a half a cup of maple syrup, I'm going to use a half a cup of the date syrup. I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's going to be sweet enough. I don't know if that's going to be too sweet. I have no idea, but that's what I'm going to do. And the other thing is the next ingredient under that says 1/4 cup coconut or vegetable oil or 1/3 cup peanut butter. So I have soy butter, sun butter, and peanut butter in my refrigerator. And I'm going to use the peanut butter because they're pretty much almost all of them have the almost exact same amount of fat, sugar, and salt, which is pretty low in all of them. But the peanut butter is the cheapest, even though it's organic and I buy it. It's way cheaper than the other two. So that's what I'm going to use. So let's come down here and you guys can take a look and we will make a brownie. Please forgive all the extra vegetables that I have on the counter. We went shopping yesterday and I haven't washed all my vegetables yet, so they need to be washed this morning still, and then I need to get them in the refrigerator. But that's what those are. There's a whole countertop of vegetables that go that direction. We just wash everything and when we buy it and then just put it all in the refrigerator so that we don't have to wash it when we pull each piece out. So that's what that is. But anyway, brownie time. Okay, so in here is 1 can of black beans that I rinsed thoroughly, and she actually says to pat it dry. I didn't do that, but I did let it drain in the little drainer thingy in the sink for quite a while. So there is that. We need 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. So I'm actually using cacao powder. So Dr. Greger says that cocoa powder is considered it's not processed because you don't take any of the stuff out, whereas chocolate would be processed. So this one, I'm not sure if it's green light or yellow light, but I think it's okay. I think it's a green light food. But we'll put in some information in here about cocoa powder to give you guys a little bit of information about it to see. I think that it's a green light food, but I'll check it out just to make sure. All right, now we need a half a cup of oats. Cup oats. It calls for 1/4 cup salt. I'm leaving that out. Then it says 1/2 cup of sweetener. So here's my date syrup from before. Let's just scoop. That'll probably be easiest. All right. Okay, next ingredient is the 1/3 cup of peanut butter. Oh, that's a lot of peanut butter. Okay. All right. I always have a sink of hot soapy water going when I'm cooking so that when I'm done with a particular measuring device I can just stick it directly into the water so that it starts to clean itself for me, especially something as sticky as peanut butter. Alrighty guys, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You guys know I make mine out of potato vodka. There's 2 teaspoons of that. Calls for 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. That's the baking powder that I buy, only because it's mixed with potato starch rather than cornstarch. My boys can't have cornstarch, so that makes that easy for me. And then this is where it comes in from the other recipe. It calls for 1/2 teaspoon of pure peppermint extract. This says it's pure. I don't know how you get pure when it's got alcohol in it, but I guess. So anyway. And the other recipe does call for 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. I'm putting in the full 1/2 teaspoon because I really like peppermint. So that is what I'm doing. You guys do whatever works for you. Now, the last 2 ingredients are chocolate chips, which I'm not going to put in at all, and more peanut butter to put across the top of it, which I'm also not going to do at all. So this is really all that you need to do. So we're going to put the lid on here. Oh, have to put that on there first. And mix it. It says on here to make sure that you mix it really, really well. Oh. I need to scrape down the sides a little bit. So this is totally a different consistency than when I made it with the boys. When I made it for the boys, I used the maple syrup, like I said, rather than the dates. And it was way, way, way looser than this. It was not this thick, which I don't see how that matters at all. That's just fine, but interesting. All right, guys, so here's our brownie batter, essentially. And I am, instead of going to, she says to bake at 350 degrees in an 8x8 pan that is lined with parchment paper. I'm actually not going to do that. I did that with the boys. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to worry about swirling in the peanut butter on top and stuff. I'm going to just bake it in a pie dish because everything comes out of this like super, super, super easy. I love this particular pie dish. So I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to cook it in here. So it says to cook it at 350 degrees. Now, if you wanted to put the chocolate chips on here because you're making it for somebody else, it's 1/2 cup to 2/3 cup chocolate chips. You mix it in now. You don't blend it, but you just mix it with a spoon into your batter and put it in here. And if you want to put the peanut butter on top, it's 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and you just essentially drop it into little drops. Warm it up first if it's cold, so it's easier for you to stir, but just put it into little drops, and then use a toothpick to swirl it around. Let me grab the boys so you can see what it looks like. It's actually quite pretty. Hang on just one second. Okay, so that's what the boys looks like. You can definitely see that it's got the peanut butter swirl going on. So, okay, but I'm going to put it in here, and I'm not going to do that extra peanut butter swirl thing. So here's the thing. Like I said before, a lot of Katie's stuff comes out kind of gooey and soggy and soft, and it's not, that's absolutely on purpose, and she wants you to hang on to it overnight. So not all of her recipes are like that for sure, but some of them are, and this is one of them. So basically, you want to cook this on a rack, center rack for 14 minutes, and then it says let the still undercooked brownies cool for 10 minutes, refrigerate overnight, which time they will firm up considerably and also taste sweeter and richer. So I am going to do that. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to cook it. Instead of cooking it for 14 minutes, I'm going to cook it for 20 minutes. I have found that a lot of the stuff that she makes does need just a little bit more cooking time than she wants it really, really, really gooey and thick, and I want it just a little bit more cooked. So I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. That's what I did with the boys. And then, yes, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator once the container has cooled down, and I'm going to let it sit until tonight. Because it's 3:30 in the morning right now, and so by the time I get up tonight for work, it'll be just fine. So I will do a taste test, and I will put it on this video rather than making you guys wait till tomorrow to see if the brownie is any good or not. I just won't be wearing this particular clothes, which is totally fine. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. There's nothing else you need to know about this recipe. I'm really excited about this. I think it will be really good. I really like mint. So back in the day, if I ate ice cream, mint chocolate chip ice cream, always hands down my absolute favorite ice cream. And the only other thing that would be even just maybe a little bit better, well, okay, not better, but comparable, would have been the little, I don't even know what they're called, the peanut butter cups that have chocolate with peanut butter inside, the little teeny tiny ones that they put in the ice cream with like fudge swirled throughout it. And again, I don't really like chocolate, but fudge, yum, I don't know. Anyway, so that is really, really super good to me too. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be delicious, and you guys will find out later today if it is or is not. But yeah, I am probably going to have leftovers for the day. I don't think I'm gonna have anything super exciting or whatever. This is my big cook for the day. But anyway, I will talk to you guys again later about food. I'm not hungry yet, so I'm not eating yet. But I will eat at some point in time. Sometime I'll be hungry before I need to go to bed again. So talk to you guys later. So it's 4:30 and I'm hungry. Actually, it's 4:45. I'm hungry, and I've decided to make something that is going to be absolutely fantastic, like super, super delicious. So I had apparently about maybe a serving left of the chili. I didn't notice that till yesterday. It was in the refrigerator still. I was like, oh, I need to eat that. So I'm going to eat that, and I'm going to make it into tacos with some avocado on it. So take a look. Doesn't that look amazing? So yeah, going to have taco stuff with avocado on it in a corn tortilla shell. Totally compliant. And I am drinking my tea that I bought yesterday. It's not caffeinated. And all it tastes like to me is cinnamon. So if you guys like cinnamon, I would highly recommend trying this. It's pretty good, especially seeing as it was buy one, get one free. I would never spend $2 for a small container to drink something because, yeah, no, that's a lot of money. But it was on sale, buy one, get one free. So for $1, I thought, give it a try. It's good. It's not sweet because it's unsweetened, but it's very tasty. But yeah, I'm going to go eat my tacos, and I'm going to enjoy them very, very much. I'm going to drink my tea, and that's going to be my first meal of the day, and I'm sure that I will eat again before I go to bed later. So I will talk to you guys again for whatever meal it is next. Alrighty guys, so just thought I would check in with you. My husband and I are doing some exercising. I'm going to ride the bike for about a half an hour, and he's going to do the little walking machine across the room from me, and then it's going to be time for lunch. So we have decided on having a salad with black beans and corn and cucumbers, and maybe not cucumbers actually, and peppers and some brown rice and cabbage and stuff. And it's going to have as the, not necessarily a dressing, but kind of as a dressing. The store this morning we found like a guacamole-ish type dip, and it has a little bit of sodium in it, but there's no sugar and there's no oil. So we're gonna give that a try and see what it tastes like. So I'll show that to you guys later when it's about time to eat. Oh, and I'm going to do the brownie testing for lunch because it's setting up quite nicely in the refrigerator. It doesn't need to sit till tonight. So you guys will get to see that soon too. All right guys, so it is lunchtime, and here is my big beautiful salad. It's got power greens on it, which is chard and kale and chard baby kale and spinach. And then I have some brown jasmine rice on there, and half a can of black beans, half a can of corn, and half of a pepper chopped up. So that is that. And there is the guacamole that we're going to put on it for salad dressing. It does have, like I said, a little bit of sodium in it, but it doesn't have a lot. Yeah, 100 milligrams of sodium for 2 tablespoons, so not too bad. 115 milligrams, not too bad. I am going to try a brownie for you, so that you know whether or not to make this. So hang on just a second, let me grab one out of here. All right, let's try this. That's not bad at the end, actually. At first I was like, I don't taste anything, like, at all. I can definitely taste a tiny little bit of the peanut butter. I can definitely taste the mint. It needs even maybe just a tiny bit more than a half a teaspoon. I would say maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon next time. And then if you're not looking for super, super sweet, this is perfect. If you want it to be a little bit sweeter, maybe bump that up to 3/4 of a cup of date syrup rather than half a cup. If you don't have the super, super sweet tooth, this probably would be just fine. Yeah, this is totally edible. I actually don't mind this at all. So anyway, I would definitely recommend trying this. Do you want to try a bite? Oh, my husband just put salad in his mouth. Never mind. I'm not going to ask him to try it anymore. Okay, well, you guys have a good one. I'm going to go enjoy my salad, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.